All right, session 0 of a new campaign. All right, just gonna go over the setting, and then we'll do the usual session 0 stuff, safety tools, triggers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Then we'll go into how to create your character, and then what the rolling system is like, and other little things to expect from the game, like how the cards are used.
Also, remember plugs.
Oh, right, because we don't have our names up anymore. All right, starting Kane, where can you be found?
Hi, I am Blood Raven Cosplay. It's Raven, Raiven, on most social media. Hi.
All right, in the middle, me is Dell. If you can see this, you already know where to find me. Ivo.
I am Dr. Ivo Kalinsky. I can be found on YouTube and TikTok by that handle.
All right, Real.
You can find me at Dr. Alexander Real on TikTok, and that's it. Don't look for me anywhere else.
And I have to type that.
Oh. The last time Dell asked me where I was like, I don't know. I'm in the gymnasium, I think. And then I was like, I'm in New York, and I didn't understand what the question was.
Plus that period in Doctor. In all the past Site 314s, when we were streaming on TikTok and I was doing all of the labels by hand, you're the only one with a goddamn period that I had to type every time. And Morat.
I'm Agent Morat. I can be found on TikTok and like pretty much everywhere else. And if you look off to some abandoned place where no one's supposed to be and you see a gas mask clad figure, that's just me. And no, you didn't.
All right. So, yeah.
Old man Delano just typing in my name tag, shaking his fist at me every time he has to do a period.
Oh my god. Minty too, because she's got underscores.
I also have underscores.
Yeah, but not as many as Minty.
Minty has more than one?
Yes.
Minty has more than one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Minty memory. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the game we are going to be playing, which is backwards on the stream, but you guys can see it just fine, is Never Going Home. The image is on the stream. So the setting, it is 1918. The Great War has just ended, but you guys don't get to go home.
From the looks of it, we're never going home.
Yeah. So the death and destruction of the Great War has weakened the veil, and rifts to an infernal plane have opened up. No! Letting loose demons across the world. And he's back. And in America, it is up to the American Secure Containment Initiative to send squads out to the rifts to try to close them. And so we will be following the story of our Great War veterans who were recruited into ASCI Unit-314, stationed just outside Snoqualmie, Washington.
Why couldn't we go somewhere cool like New York?
Nah, we are not that high ranking.
Yeah, no, we gotta be sent to the middle of bumfuck Washington.
All right, so basics, Session 0 stuff. Most of us should be on board by now. We will not tolerate racism, sexism, homophobia, Nazi shit, pedophilia, all the greatest hits. Those are instant banned material.
Yes.
Understandable.
Yep. If someone is triggered by anything, they can veto whatever was just done, and we will change it, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
That should be most of it. We've been playing stuff for a while. This is a warning group. All right.
Also, half of those, majority of those evergreens are evergreens in my own games.
Yep. All right. So to get on to character creation. So first off, your characters are the bottom of the barrel in the unit.
Oh, wow. Such an honor.
Yeah. You are all the lowest ranks. You will be equal rank, but you can decide to have a leader amongst you. There is reasons you might want to do that, because leaders can do certain things. But any NPC you talk to that's not a civilian will be higher rank than you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, we'll talk down to you in.
Not
Like,
necessarily.
hey, you worthless trash.
But
my
as
boots, go polish them.
being the lowest rank and basically the fodder in this fight, if you fall, someone else, some other random NPC that was also in the squad will see their time to shine and step up. Basically meaning if your character dies in the middle of combat, whip up a new character, they're now the hero. You can do that once per combat.
Once per
Rank
combat.
is sandbag.
If the new guy
5 characters per combat.
Yeah, if the new guy also dies, then you gotta wait until that's over.
You get one freebie.
Everybody gets one.
Hey, Tempest, do you want in here? Just hop in if you want to play. All right, does everybody have their paper and or notes app of choice ready?
Yeah.
I did not, but I can quickly get it up because I have fancy little widgets that help me with shit.
Yay!
You could have said yes. All right. All right, so there's two main things about your sheet. One, you got your core stats.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them. They each represent a different kind of health. So write these down and leave space either next to them or below them to keep track of your HP in that stat. So first is brawn. That is your physical health. You run out of HP in brawn, you succumb to your injuries.
Okay.
Then there's smarts. That is your mental health. That reaches 0, your brain gets fried.
Okay.
And then there's guts. That is your emotional health. That hit 0, you end it. You cannot handle the stress anymore.
Okay.
All right, now, between those 3 stats, you're going to assign each one a value 1 to 6. Totaling across all 3, 10. You have 10 points to distribute. You want at least 1 point in each one. Because again, they are health bars. Also, there is a channel for character sheets. If you want to just type it in, I have an example of a D8472.
I got mine.
All right. If you go to the character creator channel, there will
What is it?
be
It's like brawn, brain, and emotion. Did I get those right?
brawn, smarts, guts.
God.
Yep. And altogether, 10 points to split between the three.
Sure.
Got
Right. Weapons typically attack your brawn. Whispers can hit anything. Well, certain whispers hit certain things, but there's whispers for everything. We'll get to that later. All right. In the character creation channel, there should be an image of all of the skills. You get to pick 3 to start trained.
Skills are part of the training thing, right?
Yeah, you do train skills.
And I get to pick 3?
Yes, you get to pick 3 to start as trained. Trained just means you are able to roll them. If a skill is not trained, you don't get to roll for it.
Oh shit.
Do we need to say them out loud, or can we just keep it?
No, just write it down.
All right.
Again, there is a channel to keep track of your current character if you want to do that. Let me know when you got your 3 picked.
I've got it.
Okay, that's one of you. 2 of you. All right, real Ivo, you got yours picked?
I got them picked. I just need to write them down.
Okay.
I do.
All right, write it down quick. All right, so just because it's trained does not mean you have any dice to roll for them. You get 3 dice to distribute however you want amongst those 3 skills. If you wanted all 3 dice in one and then nothing in the other 2, you could. It doesn't matter as much as you think. We'll get to it when we get to rolling. So you could just put 1 die into each one.
What are the type of die we're using?
Oh, D6s. There are no other sizes, just D6. Yep. Like, you shouldn't need more than 6 of them total, like, if your character survives a long time. Okay. So does everybody have their 10 core stat points and 3 dice distributed?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Underneath that, there should be a chart of weapons. You get to pick 2. You get to pick 2 before each mission after you find out what the mission is. And that is your loadout for that mission.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll get into how that weapon chart works once we get to the dice system. All right, after the weapons. One last thing, and this one you do keep to yourself. Set a spot for corruption and set it to 0.
Okay.
That is the 4th lose your character condition. Certain things can increase your corruption. If it ever hits 5, you defect.
Oh.
So your character joins the demons, and I can bring them back as an enemy whenever I want.
Okay.
Okay, so core stats, skills, weapons, corruption. Does everybody have everything set? Okay.
I'm good. Go on.
Okay. That is the character sheet. So, yeah, once you get used to it, 10 seconds, you can just make a new one.
Okay.
All right. Whisper paths we will go into later. Cards I'll get to after the dice. So, the dice. It is D6s. And it works. It's a system they call the +1 system. So how it works is, in order to have a skill check succeed, you have to reach a target number of successes from die rolls. When you roll the D6s, a 5 or a 6 is a success. So the more dice you have, the more successes you can get to reach the target number for whatever you're trying to do. Your health in any core stat is also your armor class for that stat, and the enemies work the same way. So, keeping it simple, you're attacking with a weapon to your enemy's brawn. If their brawn is 5, then you would need 5 successes when rolling your weapon skill to hit them. And your core stats kind of pull triple duty. They are your health, they are the armor class for that stat, and they also boost your rolls. So you notice every skill is tied to a core stat. That is the stat you look to boost the rolls. You can do 4 different things per turn. Okay. Whatever value you have in the core stat, that's how many points your current remaining health is, how many points you can spend per turn to boost your rolls. So, like, if you have normally a max of 3, but you've been hit for 1, you have 2 health remaining, you can do 2 things of what I'm about to describe. Before you roll, you could, 1, select an untrained skill, and you are able to roll on it once. But if you select it and there's no dice in it, there's no point. That's the other thing. You can spend a point to add a die to a roll. So if you have 3 HP in brawn, but you don't have melee, you could unlock melee for a round and then add 2 dice.
Okay.
After a roll, you could, 1, spend a point to increase the value of a die by 1, which you can do multiple times to different dice or even the same die multiple times. Or select any number of dice and re-roll them. So if you had, say, 3 HP remaining in brawn, you could re-roll your failures 3 times. Okay, so that's the easy part. Going into the weapons chart, you notice how it has a damage value and then there's abilities?
Yeah.
Okay, and next to the ability, there's a number. Okay.
Yeah.
When you roll for a weapon, you're trying to hit the enemy's armor class in brawn. Every success you have beyond the necessary target number is an extra point that you can spend on an ability for that attack. So more successes over, you can stack or pile on abilities that the weapon has. Like if it's +1 damage, you can just keep adding more +1 damages if you got a really good roll. Okay. That should be self-explanatory enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. I'm going to be covering Whisper Paths last. For anyone who has seen that channel, you'll know why. All right. For the rest of your equipment, it is assumed you have everything you need. Ammo, spade, rations for the day. So the only reward and resource that you're going to get are cards. So at some point before session 1, I will distribute cards. I'll text you the 3 cards you get for free. These represent your humanity. Each suit and value has a certain significance that I'll explain as the cards come up in the game. So how it works is, in order to join a mission... Oh, okay, so first off, you can have a hand of up to 7 cards. You're going to start with 3. In order to join a mission, you have to sacrifice a bit of your humanity. And how it works is every mission has a bonus condition depending on what cards were sacrificed. Something like 1 of each suit, or 3 cards of consecutive value, or a face card. And everybody, in secret, chooses a card to sacrifice. You can talk to each other, but you don't get to say specifically what suit or color or value it is. And they will get revealed when I collect them. If you met the condition, which you will know in advance, then the mission gets easier by way of certain scripted complications not coming up. And then I take the cards that were discarded, shuffle them, assign 1 to each of you in the form of, based on the suit and value, something your character is thinking about while on the way to the mission. It's called the journey phase of the session. So it'll just be something in the back of your character's head, and then you'll have like your last chance to do some RP before the shit hits the fan. And then at the end of the mission, if you succeed, then you get cards as a reward. The main way to spend the cards is to increase your core stats and buy dice.
See.
So the way it works is, in order to unlock a skill, you have to spend a certain amount of cards, discard a certain amount of cards, equal to 2 less than how many skills you would have. So like you want to unlock your 4th skill, that's 2 cards. Your 5th is 3 cards, and so on. 6th is 4 cards. You could buy dice. That is 1 more than the amount of dice you would have in that skill. You want the skill to have a die, 2 cards. The second die, 3 cards. It's listed in the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the dice also work the same way for core stats, except core stats can only be increased with red cards. So red cards will be at a premium. Like you may want to sacrifice black cards that are not all that great for buying into a mission just because you want to hold on to your red ones to level up. And the last thing your cards are used for, initiative. The only time you get to show a card to the other players without discarding it is when you are bidding for initiative. So combat works a little weird. Whoever has the highest whoever shows the highest value card for their initiative after any tiebreakers chooses who goes first.
Oh.
Can they choose themselves?
Yes. After someone takes their turn, which is 1 action, they choose who goes next.
Oh.
Until, including the enemy. You can pick the enemy. And it just goes around until everyone has had a turn in that round. So if it's all you guys, then eventually it's going to be all of the enemies.
Ah.
And then the last person to take their turn that round, then it's wiped clean. They get to pick anybody now that it's a new round. Except for themselves, you can't go twice in consecutively.
All right.
Which also means, yeah, you pick an enemy, the enemy could pick one of you guys or another enemy to go after them. And there's also not a single map in any of the books.
But I do have a question, Del.
Yeah.
How do the vehicles work?
We'll get into that when they come up. There's a whole rule set for it. Mostly, like you use,
like skimming through the book.
Yeah, mostly you use your action to drive or fire from the vehicle.
Gotcha.
And while you're in the vehicle, you are protected by the vehicle's armor instead of your own.
Ah. So if I manage to get my hands on a tank,
a World War I era tank.
Yeah, like a trench crawler Mark IV or something.
Yep. Then yeah, you could use it if you have the driving skill. Or as a gunner, if you have the ranged attack.
Wait, don't say your things out loud.
Well, skills you can, just not your hand or your corruption.
I picked range, mechanic, and transport.
Okay. Also, there's not a single map in any of these books. There is no mention of distance. So, pretty much...
Should we just use a local map from the area?
Nah. It's not going to matter. It's not built into the game. Pretty much, if you're in combat, you are in range to use ranged weapons, or if you want to use your action to get into melee range. If you're using a melee weapon. It's going to be very fast and loose, so I'm keeping the same Site 314 layout because there's no map. Okay. And now it's down to whisper paths. This is the one complicated thing.
And I assume it's going to be one hell of complicated.
All right. So you won't start with any whisper paths because it's basically you using the enemy's corruption against them, which runs the risk. It's one of the main ways to increase your own corruption is by using their magic. Like, if you were to look at the cover, you got your stock, just regular soldier guy, but then you got one guy that's like doing blood magic, cutting on himself. You got another guy doing druidic kind of magic. He's got like the branch antlers and leaf cloak thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so whisper paths are like any other skill, except for every path you want to learn, you'd have to take a skill. The whisper paths are not transferable. You can have multiple paths going simultaneously if you take multiple skills with their own dice. Every time you purchase a die in a whisper path, you get to go down that whisper path's menu and select one of the spells, and that is the spell you know.
They really were so kind as to give me multi-classing.
Now the third, fourth, it's either third, fourth, fifth and higher, or fourth, fifth, sixth and higher. I forget what it's listed somewhere. Dice that you purchase in a whisper path give you a chance of corruption. Chances of corruption are a thing where you draw a card, which I'll draw for you. If it's a red card, nothing happens. If it's a black card on a chance of corruption, your corruption goes up by 1. So just learning spells runs the risk of losing your character. Each whisper path has very complicated, wildly different ways of casting spells. Some require you to discard cards. The healer path, you have to discard a card to cast a spell. Some give you corruption. Browse it if you want. It is a very long, complicated list. The main difference between casting a spell and attacking with a weapon is, remember how beating the target number lets you spend the extra points on abilities for a weapon?
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called augments for whispers. You have to decide those in advance, like adding 1 to the target number to do an extra damage. You have to decide that, and that is the target number you have to hit. It is all or nothing. So whisper paths are dangerous, hard to pull off, but if you do, they're powerful. All right, that is pretty much the entire game. Any questions before we close this out?
So for initiative, you said like reveal cards. Are these like out of our hand?
From your hand, yes. You choose a card to reveal.
And it doesn't get discarded, right? It's just like...
No, it stays in your hand. It is the only time you get to let anyone know what's in your hand.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh. Also, everyone will have a lockbox. It'll be labeled with you. It will have your hand in it. So if there are ever any disputes or you forget what is in your hand, I will check your locker. This is the master copy of what your hand is. I have a lot of them.
Also, I believe I've just sorted my entire deck of cards.
It doesn't matter. You'll be pulling out whatever text that you've received. Like, keeping your own copy just so you have it to look at is a useful reference. All right. Any last questions of how any of this works?
I think we got it.
But I think we're good for now. Good enough to play ball.
Okay. I will have your hands distributed before next week. And we can call this early. All right. See you next week.
See you next week.